Did I miss anybody?
Michael, can you please put your last name and your street name or announce it for the record? I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. I'll have to push you back to the waiting room. Thank you.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock and we call the village board meeting to order. Please silence all cell phones and refrain from using them during the meeting. I look for an approval of the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 3, public appearances and citizen comments on items not listed on this agenda. Items will not be debated or acted upon at this meeting, but will be referred to the proper staff committee if action is required. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone here that wants to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none. Is there anyone here that wants to speak on new business discussion, consideration, Sugar River EMS contract? If you'd like to speak, now is the time to speak, because when we go to that item, there will not be any debate with the gallery. It will be board members only. Okay, hearing none, let's move on. Item 4, approval of the consent agenda. Additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, new business. A, consideration, discussion, Sugar River EMS contract, 26 in your packet.
Yeah, so as Roger said, the contract is included in your packet. The village's attorney, Jill Morgan, is also here if the board has any questions.
I would note that I have reviewed it, made suggestions which have been incorporated, and I'm satisfied with the contract.
Motion to approve Sugar River Emergency Medical Services District contract.
But who is the second?
John.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I think this is a great thing moving forward in the village, so here we go. We're gonna have a roll call. Amy?
Roger Trutman,
Aye.
Peggy Cruz.
Yes.
Larry Susie,
Yes.
Jesse Donahue,
Yes.
John Hovland,
Yes.
Becca,
Yes.
Sarah Claus.
Yes.
Roger, that is a vote of 7 yes, 0 no.
Okay, passes unanimously. Easier if you want to stick around for the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to. Otherwise, it's up to you folks if you want to leave. We'll give you time.
We won't be offended. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You deserve a big,
Yes.
big applause.
Thank you for your service.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for trusting us. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Robert. Thank you.
Yep.
Drop the charge about
Okay, let's move on. Item B, consideration discussion R 26-11, preliminary resolution pursuant to section 66.0703 of the Wisconsin statute relating to special assessments and charges, and that's page 44 in your packet.
Yeah, as Roger said, this is in your packet. This is something somewhat standard that we do with all of our street projects. It is a resolution for the special assessment. It lays the parameters, if you will, for the special assessment for 11th Avenue. You'll note on there that it's a 10 installment payment that was changed a couple years ago by the board. It was 6. The board requested 10, so that's what we have in for this year. Otherwise, everything else is pretty standard. We will be hosting a public hearing at the April Public Works and Safety meeting for the special assessments for this project.
I'll move to approve R 26-11, preliminary resolution pursuant to section 66.0703 of the Wisconsin statutes relating to special assessment and charges.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, item C, consideration, discussion, food truck permitting process. Chelsea?
Yeah, so the board late last summer, early fall, you may remember the board talked about reviewing our permitting process for mobile food vendors, aka food trucks, before this upcoming season. So I did include our current permit in the packet for you all to review. I also reached out to a few area communities that I know handle food trucks just to see if they have any restrictions. Just to remind everybody, last fall there was discussion about restricting to certain days, restricting to how many food trucks, restricting to specific number of food trucks per cuisine, if you will. So those were all discussion topics that the board had said they wanted to talk about now. What I can tell you is I reached out to the city of Monroe, the village of Brooklyn, and Dodgeville. I pulled all 3 of their permits. What I can tell you based on the permits is ours is one of the more stricter, which I think is good. We require a little bit more information than other places. One thing I did find interesting was the village of Brooklyn. Their annual permit, they limit to 4 annual permits per year, and the permit fee is $300 for the year. They do say it can be prorated according to the date that it's issued, but I thought that maybe hit on a little bit of what the board was looking at in terms of tax. Not saying I recommend it or don't recommend it, that is just what the village of Brooklyn does. The city of Monroe has an interesting part in their ordinance that prohibits any vendors to operate within 20 feet of any portion of the front of any building in which a permanent merchant sells merchandise of the same or similar nature. I don't think we've encountered that with our previous permits, but I think that's just good to know that there are other communities that are thinking about trying to allow food trucks to come in and encourage that, but also acknowledge our brick and mortar businesses, which I also know is a topic of conversation. And then the Dodgeville license is an annual license that starts on May 1st and runs through the following April 30th, and that annual license is $200. So the thing that I have found is ours is a little cheaper than the village of Brooklyn and Dodgeville. Interestingly enough, Monroe's online is $75. It doesn't go into a lot of details, so I'm not sure if that is for a specific period of time or if that's the annual fee. So that's kind of the research that I have regarding food trucks, but Amy and I are happy to take any notes from the board on the process for the permit.
I like the idea of having them all in by a certain due date so that we could assess them all at once.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to worry about, well, a Mexican truck wants to come in, but we've already got one. What do we do? Like, it would all just be one time, we're done, we can assess them all in a block. And when that May 1st to April 30th license, that would probably solve that issue.
Yeah, I don't know that Dodgeville approves them or denies them all at the same time, but that's just their permit period. So I do think if our goal is to approve them all at the same time, we want to make sure the date that we select for that deadline, it allows for businesses, if they're looking to do this,
My only caution with that would be that if we get someone asking to have a food truck for halal, and they don't get it, they may allege that it was racially motivated, ethnically motivated, and was discriminatory. So that would be the only concern I would I have no problem having a due date, like our rental license. You gotta get in by this time, because we're not gonna do this over here.
Yep.
That makes sense to me, but I would be somewhat cautious if we pick and choose based on cuisine and just because, so we don't have a Mexican, but they applied and so we gave it to Charlotte, and that could be a big issue.
I think for the most part, food trucks all parked on Fourth Avenue, am I correct? I mean, so they're not near any other than the Whistle or Kennedy's.
We had a food truck want to be somewhere else, so last time. You want to be like a school or, I don't know, but the point is it might come on.
Yeah, we've encouraged food trucks in the past when they come to us to either park around Village Park or park at Veterans Park. Mostly because it also utilizes space for people to approach the truck. If they park on a residential street, that maybe even doesn't have a sidewalk, then you're either forcing people to go into the yard or you're forcing them to be on the street. So I think it's probably our best bet in terms of public safety to keep them somewhere where there's a lot of, pedestrian space.
I think the Fourth Avenue would be very good. In my estimation.
I just have two comments, and maybe John, you can add to this, being a commercial businessman. One, because New Glarus is quite unique in terms of a very healthy cuisine culture, I would not really want to spark any controversy among them. You can address that if you feel the need. And then the other issue is that it's not that I'm against it, it's just something to throw out there for consideration. And then the other issue was, do we want that to compete on weekends and during festivals? Is it something that will just keep like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't know, but I want to make sure that we don't, we don't stir the pot for those that are struggling or trying to establish themselves here as a, in the food industry. Do you feel that that's an issue, John? Because you're a
I feel like if you can't handle the competition.
okay.
Really good.
Okay.
If you can't handle the competition, you will lose.
Okay. So that's not.
Retail and restaurant is competitive in the world, and we have to, I would love to see more retail businesses in downtown New Glarus. If they're gonna sell something that I can sell, go ahead. It's part of running your shop. I have to adjust as I go.
I wondered, it was just a concern and thought I had about.
I can promise you that you will hear that from other people, but that's just.
Share your opinion or the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, and the fact that we have a public knowledge that we did address that issue is now on our village board streaming, that we have discussed that and considered it, so. I
And that
don't.
is the way that restaurants started sometimes too. I mean, Trueville got started that way, and now they are a brick and mortar in the town, so it can work for them.
And what's our thoughts about, time frame and days and? do we have
On
any-
that note, you said Brooklyn has
Yeah.
just 4
Yep, so they have,
dates or.
so they have two permit options, an annual permit and a daily permit, which I believe we offer as well. The annual permit is valid January 1 through December 31st of the same calendar year, limits to 4 annual passes issued per year. The permit fee is $300, which may be prorated according to the date it's issued. And then they have a daily permit valid for 1 day for a maximum of 6 hours. Up to 5 daily permits may be issued to the same vendor within a 12-month period. And that permit fee is $35.
And where do we go from here?
I would say this is an agenda item that doesn't necessarily require a change if the board doesn't see fit. It's just an opportunity that if the board wanted to see something change in the process. Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, we do not currently have any food truck permits in. But obviously we're approaching on the letter, so.
So I agree with John, I think if you can't handle the competition, you're in the wrong business, but I do, having said that, I do like the whole Monday through Thursday thing. I mean, it's usually business, people are eating there anyway.
I agree with that.
It's kind of a
Especially on
compromise.
Thursdays, I think. I see, like, when 4 days in town, Thursday night, or whatever, Monday night.
Yeah,
Whatever night it is,
Friday, yeah.
But I think, Monday through Thursday. And you wanna put a deadline for getting the permits in? You got nothing now, do you?
Right, there are no active.
No, I mean-
For food trucks.
If we put a deadline that
Oh.
they have to have their permits in by the 1st of May. Do you have anything like that?
No.
And I think what we would do, is reach out to those that have obtained permits in the past and let them know that that deadline is now enacted, just because it's a change.
Including the ones who submitted last
Yep.
year and we declined it.
Correct.
We're like, we're gonna.
Yep, yeah.
Is the deadline necessary to enact right now, or is it something that we should think about if it becomes an issue? Because, I mean, I feel like if you suddenly throw that out there, you're potentially limiting yourself, the village from getting somebody who thinks about it later on down the road. And I get what you're saying as far as I think we're going to do this fall.
We went last year, it just kept coming up, like, we were always, and maybe, maybe it was 3 times. It was like, whoa.
We could enact it in May of 27, like, write it out this year and then let everybody know.
Yeah.
On our website.
What I will say is the annual folks that come back again for pass, the process right now is that food truck permit does not go to the village board. That was the process. Last year, the board requested every permit, regardless of if they're renewals or new, come to the board, because there was a concern about the day that renewal came in. So right now, our plan is to bring every food truck permit that comes to the village board for approval. The actual permits last year, I think we only had 6. So I think last year's conversation was maybe a little bit more, why kept coming up with more round guidelines of how we're doing this, rather than having permits constantly.
And do we have Monday through Thursday in the language?
Not right now. Nope, the only thing that we have changed procedurally is that we will bring it to the village board for approval regardless of if it's new or a renewal.
Is that something the board wants to discuss in Monday through Thursday, or do you feel that? To me, I just want to be fair to both sides.
Personally, I don't like the Monday through Thursday, but.
I prefer the Monday through Thursday. There's brick and mortar places in There's the struggle during the winter periods and giving them more competition on the weekends when they're just getting rolling when it starts getting warm. I don't want that. So,
That language.
I agree.
So, what do you want to do with that? Put that in.
Yeah, but that's the direction, whoever would like to make the motion, if that's the direction you want to go, I would just explicitly state that in the motion. If you want to limit to certain days, or a deadline, or whatever it is, just make sure that's explicitly stated.
I guess I'm gonna backtrack a little bit on the deadline. We only had 3 last
yeah, I don't think it.
year, and I don't think we need to do that. I mean, if we were getting inundated
Right.
every week with a food truck wanting to come to town, it'd be different. But I think we only had 3 of them last year.
So at this
I guess
point,
if it gets to the point where we get that many, then maybe we have to look at it in the upcoming year.
And are we looking to just have one per day? Like we wouldn't want 2 trucks on a Monday? Or do we care about
I don't even care,
I don't.
especially if it's a Monday.
we're a preference for a year.
That's easy. So we need to make a motion to restrict food trucks to Monday through Thursday. That's what you want to song. I motion to add language, food trucks are restricted in Village of New Glarus to Monday through Thursday.
We need to mention anything about, at this point, no. Few days. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Location.
What I will tell you is the village
Yeah.
board is going to get every single food truck application, so if they desire a location on there, the village board can easily say, we approve it based on only being located at this spot.
Okay. You got everything?
So Jesse made a motion to add restrictions to current, procedure policy to limit food trucks to Monday through Thursday.
Wait a second.
Okay, you second? Did you second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That took longer than the.
I know.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna go on record and say no opposed.
Okay. That's the first time that's ever happened to me.
Yep, Sarah has one follow-up question.
Okay.
It's been posted on the website.
What?
The application is posted on the village website, correct?
Yep, they can find it on the village website under permits and applications, and they can also call the clerk's office.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Amy, we got a library project update?
Yeah, tarping was installed last week, finished up this week, acoustical tiles are going up. And essentially, we are looking at doing our punch list on March 31st. So,
The bells were installed.
the bells are installed here. I'm sorry, no. So you can see it on the library.
I had a gentleman come down to hardware store yesterday that were putting those acoustical tiles up,
Uh-huh.
and he wanted longer screws. He said, I don't trust them about this long, he said, because it's gotta go through metal. And he said, I want longer screws.
Well, good.
He was up,
Yeah,
I mean,
nice and secure.
yeah, he was very conscientious about, making sure that they weren't gonna fall down on him.
We like that.
Okay, Amy, thank you. Public Works and Safety, consideration special police squad car bid award.
Yeah, so obviously Chief Sturtevant is here and can speak to this as well. I included the bids and the bid sheet from Chief in your packet. Public Works and Safety reviewed this. They recommended approval of the Simden bid. Chief Sturtevant, did I miss anything?
So you had two bids, right? Yeah. And just out of curiosity, did they get open at Public Works and Public Safety Committee?
We don't have to do that anymore
Oh,
because,
okay.
E-Wall is like the state bid, they already go
Oh.
out and do everything, since we're going with I wanna go with the Dodge Durango to keep them all the same.
Yeah.
I reach out to them because they're local.
Okay, good, and I'm very happy with that. Yeah. I just didn't know what the bid opening process.
We used to get like 7, 10 envelopes from all over, all the
Yeah.
different dealerships, so we have to open them all.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the police squad bid award and then.
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
When do you think you'll have it?
They told me when I got talk to them about the bids, that, like, once I get it ordered, it'll be anywhere from like 14 to 18 weeks.
Okay, item B, approval of chicken violation, dog violation, deposit slash fine amount.
Yes, there is a memo in your packet. This was also reviewed and recommended for approval from the Public Works and Safety Committee. Our village attorney, Bill Morgan, and Chief Sturtevant also reviewed and recommended approval. A little bit of background on this. We have established ordinances for chicken licensing and dog park rules, but we don't have deposits and fines associated with them. So this allows Chief Sturtevant and his staff to write tickets for violations. Chief, what are on that?
We just gotta get it built into our state tracks program and everything, so it'll take a little bit to get it in there, but we definitely need one because we, have chicken violations, people are not correcting it.
And yeah, kudos to Chief for being up on this. He's always reviewing this stuff, and I think it's one of those things that doesn't always get thought about when we're in the ordinances. So.
I will go ahead and approve the chicken violation of our park. I think they're fair.
I'll second that one.
That might make the paper.
I go down in history.
No more chicken violators here.
You should come to these meetings more often, Bill. Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And just briefly, how many dog permits have we got for the park?
Yeah, I'll let Amy share on that, but we have had a good turnout this year. I believe we typically last year was right around 50 total for the year, and I think we're approaching that. Yeah. So I would say the dog park is certainly helping with dog registry. Oh, did you ask about dog park or dog?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dog park passes. I'm not sure.
Sure, you still on? Yep. Sure, any idea?
I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it's probably maybe between 20 and 30.
Okay.
Jerry Cash is our deputy clerk treasurer who's on, if you're wondering. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, down the president's report. I didn't know I was gonna be reporting anything. You're gonna take the lead on this one. Consideration, discussion, confirmation of open book and board of review meeting date.
Yeah, so this is actually Amy and Sherry's territory now, but our open book and board review meeting dates have been set. Amy sets virtual open book for May 6th, 2026, and then board of review will be in this room at Village Hall on May 27th. Amy, anything to add to that?
Just a reminder, all of you are board of review members. I will be getting information or keeping an eye out from like the clerk's listserv to seeing about any training coming up, because of the state statute that at least one member of the board of review gets trained every year. So. And again, too, it'll be the 2-hour meeting on the 27th.
Usually five to
Starting at 5,
What was the date on that again?
The 27th.
27th.
Of
And
May?
Amy will send out a calendar reminder to everybody as well.
Okay, is there anything else from the board? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Wow.